Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joshua Yarbrough, and this is Yarbrough Creates. And let's get creative. This video is me kind of doing reaction to Ashley's hot takes, if you will, about some of the, in her opinion, biggest men stylists on the internet, on the YouTubes, to find them on the interwebs. And honestly, a lot of her content that was, well, not a lot of her content, but more like a lot of things she talked about in that video were things that I was just kind of taken back by. And there's a lot of, oh man, it's going to be so hard to explain it. There's just some really bad takes from this video. And I kind of want to dive into it. Not only discuss her bad takes, but also, in my opinion, something that I feel is always left out of the conversation with a lot of these stylized or a lot of these stylists in these videos when it comes to men's fashion, if you will. But let's just kind of dive right into it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of pull up my phone here. I literally, when I first saw the video, I wrote like a whole essay. Literally a whole essay. I don't know if I want to show it to you, but it's at least 5 or maybe 8. It looks like, let's just go and round it up to a crazy amount, but let's just say 20 paragraphs, at least 20 paragraphs. I wrote a dissertation on her on her hot takes of a video. But I'll go ahead and pull up that video right now and kind of look over and see and kind of do a little bit of reaction to some of her opinions. And I'm going to also give my opinions. The biggest issue I have with a lot of these different opinions is that they're given as almost fact in a way. And some of the language that is used is really divisive, and I don't know. It really discriminates against someone's age about what is and is not appropriate to wear in terms of clothing. And it's not even like outlandish like things that you would say like someone shouldn't wear this. It's really like absurd. Like, this man can't wear this because he has hit the age where this garment is no longer acceptable. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a normal garment. I don't understand what you're saying. This doesn't make any sense to anybody. And part of me feels like you're making this absurdly spicy just so that you can have a bigger engagement in your comment section. I mean, that's the only angle. Either that or you're just really missing the mark here. So I don't know. I found this to be highly interesting. So I'm going to go back and just watch the video and kind of give my 2 cents, if you will, on the video and kind of talk about it. I'll link the video in question on the bottom here. But she does a video reaction to a lot of the contenders that you would kind of find when you're looking for men's fashion tips, right? So AlphaM, Costa, TeachingMensFashion, Dessaint. At least these are the kind of guys you kind of discover when you're first going into your fashion journey as someone who's maybe not into fashion, doesn't really have too much experience, not really just wanting to have something that's clean, presentable, that you can kind of wear every day. And some of these outfits, for I guess a lot of people who aren't into fashion, would be a stretch for them, right? These are more for the individual who are looking to have just a select amount of items in their closet that they can kind of pull out every now and then or all the time and know that these are going to look good no matter what, and then just have them in a rotation. At least that's the idea behind their content, according to Ashley. There's a lot more to be desired from these looks. And here's my thing. I don't have any I don't have any problem with someone wanting to give their opinion. I don't have any problem with someone saying, I don't appreciate this aesthetic. I myself is one of those people. I've openly in my last video commented on things that I thought were slightly ridiculous, but I also tried to give wiggle room to say, just because it's not for me doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. Or just because it's something that I wouldn't want in my closet or I don't see myself wearing doesn't mean that you shouldn't explore that look and go all the way. Like literally, if you're going to go into a look that is experimental or out of the norm, you need to really commit to that look and take some time to really think about how you're going to build an outfit that's going to work. and showcase the look that you want to have, the aesthetic. So, for example, if you want to go tech wear, you need to really go tech wear. You need to like not dabble in it. You need to really go for it. If you're gonna go for like workwear, you need to really go for workwear. It takes a lot of confidence to go for workwear, or maybe for you, it's just like, this is my moment. And that's great. I want to see that. I really want to see someone really experiment and kind of go for these kind of looks and really commit to them. I think that's the only way that you're going to discover something or create something truly unique that really showcases your personality through it. So without further ado, I shall dive into the video and give my dissertation on this person's, will you say, spicy hot takes. Yes. So let's dive right in to Ashley's commentary on menswear, shall we?
Black jeans up to the black t-shirt feels like this guy. Next up is Aaron Marino. All right,
Aaron Marino is also AlphaM. Just in case you're wondering, that is who Aaron Marino is.
It literally feels like this guy in his 40s going through a midlife crisis and trying to stay hip and cool.
This guy in his 40s going through a midlife crisis and trying to stay hip and cool.
And this outfit is just way too young for him. Starting with the leather jacket. This is the quintessence.
And there you have it. This is going to be a recurring theme with her and AlphaM, is really discriminating against his age as the reason why the outfit doesn't work, rather than going into technical terms like the rule of thirds or color blocking, talking about drapery and how something hangs on the body. Like, rather than going for these actual technical terms, you know what? I don't even have to go through the whole video. That's it. That's what I want to react to. Rather than talking about what makes the outfit good or bad, the immediate go-to thing, the justification for her saying the outfit is bad, is his age. It's saying that he's too old to wear a leather jacket. And later on, she goes on to say, like, he's too old to wear those kind of jeans, that no one should wear any kind of distressing on their garments or have any kind of, like, fading or bleaching in terms of men wearing these garments. And I was just like, the main issue that she had is this man's age, that he is too old to wear such a youthful outfit. And my immediate response is, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? At what point is someone too old to wear a leather jacket? I guess 40 for you. I'm just blown away by this. Like, she also goes on to say a couple other people who were wearing something like a man was wearing athleisure and was sitting there saying that the athleisure outfit worked because he's younger, and if someone was older, they wouldn't be able to wear this. Wow. Okay. Like, what happens when you make a statement like that is you start to disconnect whatever you're saying after that moment. It's like the rest of what you have to say, I'm automatically not open to hearing, because for you to give such a statement makes me question the value and truth within the rest of your statements, which there are a couple of things in there that are based on, like I said, the rule of thirds, right? Trying to create longer lines if that's what you desire. If your desire is to make your legs look longer, these are some methods that can work. Versus, you're too old to wear this. Or versus, you're going to look shorter, and being shorter is less attractive. And so you're doing, and that's a hot take in and of itself. First of all, what makes you believe that your height determines your level of attractiveness? Now, that is going to be based on the individual, and now you're going into a conversation where you're starting to go into social norms, you're starting to go into the idea of what is attractive, you're going to the idea of all these kind of different things, which is way outside of, in my opinion, shouldn't be brought into the same conversation as building an outfit, unless your goal and your objective is to make yourself more desirable, to the individuals who are participating in the idea of what is desirable. Does that make sense? Like, it depends on what your goal is or what the idea is of the outfit versus I'm just enjoying these leather jacket and I built an outfit for this leather jacket. Or I happen to like distressed denim because it gives a little bit more character, or I want to have a pop of color, so I'm wearing these boots to kind of draw your attention to the boot to create a conversation around these specific desert boots. So I don't know, like, this hot take is just such a bombastic statement that it's so hard to wrap my head around, and I wanted to make a video just talking about it because the other thing is, within some of these kind of videos, by these guys themselves who are the ones that are the topic of her discussion, reacting to those outfits. So a lot of these guys who are creating these videos are giving really good information. They're talking about rules that apply in almost every visual art, right? You're talking about color blocking. You're talking about things within the color wheel that blend together, things that don't. You're talking about the rule of thirds, which is creating an outfit. Either you have the upper part of the outfit is smaller to make the other half longer or look larger. So maybe you have, I don't know, a long trench coat, so it makes the top portion of the outfit look longer and creates this aesthetic. Or you do the exact opposite where you're having the shirt kind of cut in higher, or at least the outer layer, like a vest that's more cropped and that makes a longer look for the rest of the outfit. Those are called rule of thirds. And so you're playing on the idea of cutting the frame into a portion to draw attention to a certain item or to create a certain aesthetic. It's the same thing we see in film and cinematography. And these are rules that you learn in the beginning to just use as a foundation. These are not something that you take and just make sure everything is applying to them. In fact, once you've learned these rules, you're often encouraged to find ways to break them creatively and to make creative choices that would be edgier because of the fact that those who know the rules are seeing them being broken, but they're seeing them done in such a way that it's so excellent, so eloquent that people enjoy it. And someone who doesn't understand the rules can look at something and say, this is good, without fully understanding what makes it good. And so part of my paragraph in the dissertation is me commenting on the idea of comparing two very similar in the sense that they're both movies. I use these two films to express what I'm trying to say within fashion. So I'm going to use the most recent movie, which is Batman, that came out, versus the most recent Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, which came out. Both are cinematic movies, and they're done very differently. So Spider-Man No Way Home is done from a cinematic point of view very well. Very perfect, very clear, very sharp. All of the images are really dialed in. Everything is framed. Everything is clear. You can see the entire image very crisp. And everything's done and executed very well. However, some might argue that there isn't any charm in the idea of doing these hyper high-end, high-quality videos that just capture every single little flaw in frame. Some might lean more into the Batman aesthetic, which they purposely dirtied lenses and even went a step further and putting them on film, and I think even went a step further and making them look flawed on purpose. And that was to create this aesthetic that would be Gotham. So everything looks dirty, everything looks wet, everything looks never quite dry in the film. And it's all done in this very tight, kind of claustrophobic style to where often your eyes are only drawn to wherever the director wants you to look. And so the film itself, it's its own character, its own unique part of the experience that is creating this idea of what is Gotham, right? And what's going on into this world, this feel. And they're changing the lighting, they're changing all these different things to kind of create and build this atmosphere versus really having a very clean, open aesthetic that you would find in other films previously, like, for example, the ones by Christopher Nolan. Same character, but a very different approach. Now, there are other parts of the film that we can kind of argue might have been done better, right? But from a cinematography point of view, the film is excellent, And so same thing goes within outfits, right? So when we're looking at different outfits, we're looking at different styles, we're looking at different things. We're seeing people break these rules, but they're breaking them in a way that you like. They're still playing with the idea that is fundamental to styling an outfit, right? They're still playing with color blocking. They're still playing with rule of thirds. They're still playing with layering and distressing and all these other different methods. They're playing with textures, and they're breaking these rules that create something interesting that maybe you haven't seen before and you like it, but you don't know why you like it, but for some reason you double tap the photo. You put a heart on Instagram. You saved it, right? Or you start leaning in and learning about this aesthetic, this style. What is athleisure? What is tech wear? What is minimalism? And then what is the step that's like hyper minimalism? What are these terms? What formulates them? How do I incorporate that into my outfit? And then how do I break these rules, right? So a lot of people who are really into fashion will find different kind of individuals who are doing just that. They're actively breaking the rules. Maybe they're creating a whole outfit built on statement pieces. Maybe they're incorporating one statement piece. And what is a statement piece? So these are all ideas that I think are very fun to explore and I think should be highly encouraged to explore. However, when we start telling people that they're wrong because of their age, it's like such a bombastic statement that I can't even take the rest of your content seriously. Like, I'm not saying that you're bad at what you do. You could be very good at what you do. You could be excellent. You could be an excellent, amazing stylist. However, when you're making statements like that, it's terrible. And you're not the only one who's there. I've seen other statements that are just as guilty of it, like saying, like, you look dorky or doofus or whatever because your backpack's too big and you need to have a more sleeker looking backpack. You could say that there's like, no, there's many different ways about approaching that, but you can say, hey, if you want to elevate your look, you want to invest in your accessories and make sure that your accessories are going along with the aesthetic that you're trying to build, right? And so that means investing into bags, backpacks, jewelry, smaller bags. But a lot of the guys who make these kind of content are going to pair that. I'm talking more, now this is going towards more of those male stylists who are in these videos. A lot of them will have a 7-minute video and 4 minutes of that video will be an ad for something. So like I said, they might say something like, your backpack looks terrible. You need to get a cooler backpack. And right away, thanks to the sponsor of this video, here are the backpack brand that you need to get. However, and I hope that YouTube doesn't get mad at me for saying the word sponsor. But anyways, however, I take that with a grain of salt. I understand that you're trying to give information, but you also need to make money. And so you're doing sponsorships. Fine, great. And I hope that you truly do believe in these sponsors that you're putting on your channel. And I've learned a lot from many of these guys who are stylists. And I'm sure that some of their videos I probably would have some hot takes off of. And maybe the first encounter that I ever had with Ashley was this video, which it was for me. And this is a hot take. But here's my point. Somebody could be watching that video and be the first and last encounter that you ever have because one of your comments was so just out of this world nonsensical. That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody on my last video could say like a hot take that I had was the thing I probably went in on the most was like the giant gaping holes in garments and just saying that you're paying more for less. Okay, from a certain standpoint, that is agreeable. However, I think a lot of those pieces I saw that I was looking at, some of them look really cool. I like the feel part. I like the feel pieces. I wouldn't really stylize them as just that piece alone because I would probably want to play more with that layering and kind of use that for more color blocking. However, I wouldn't discourage someone else from wearing them, right? As long as you're really leaning into and you're doing with proper execution, I would be more excited to look at that, to see someone showcasing that. But I still give room to the fact that if the price is so outrageous and it doesn't match the garment, for me personally, I'm not going to invest in it, or I have a hard time investing in that piece when I could invest into something else that would be more desirable for me to have in my closet. That's really my hot take on that item, is that there are other pieces that I really desire that I'd rather invest in, that I would rather save up and go for. However, if I see someone else buying that, great. I'm really excited to see some of the cool outfits. I think someone could pull off some really awesome outfits. And one of my favorite things is distressing. I like distressing. I own a distressed sweater that is one of my favorite sweaters. In fact, it's one of my wife's favorite sweaters that she often gravitates towards and asks me to wear because she likes the way it looks on me. And a lot of these looks that I've seen here, I know my wife would probably love, but there's some of them I might not gravitate towards because, one, some of those garments are not cut to be comfortable. They're cut to look aesthetically pleasing. Therefore, I do not feel confident walking around when I'm not comfortable. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm not really enjoying the experience that I'm having with a garment on my body, I'm going to have a really hard time having confidence really selling that look, versus I'm wearing something that I'm genuinely excited to showcase and share, even if someone might not enjoy it or like it or agree with it. I'm going to probably look way better in that outfit because of my personality shining through in that moment. And someone could look at that and say, 100%, that's just Yarbrough. That's Joshua. That's how he dresses. That's how he presents himself. That's just who he is. That's his character kind of shining through. Sorry about that. I was like really in the middle of that, and then the camera turned off. But I'm going to wrap this up. The point I'm getting to is that people should be encouraged to be more experimental and try on different things. However, you should also predicate that with, hey, these are some basic rules that we understand create a very aesthetically pleasing outfit. And you can play around with these to really express and execute a look that is probably going to showcase what you're trying to do anyway, way better than if you were to just come into this blind, not knowing any of these rules. Like she mentions in her own video, she's talking about a guy wearing sunglasses indoors and saying that he looks, I'm not going to repeat what she says, only because I have younger audience viewing these videos. But she says in the video that it makes him look, I guess you could say like it makes him look like a jerk, if you will, or potential of a jerk. She doesn't use that word or that terminology. It's not like it's a bad word. It's just something that I don't want to use. Just because I don't know, it's a cheap, crummy word. Moving on. She comments on this guy wearing these sunglasses. I'm not going to say the word. You can look at the video and find that video. But she comments on the gentleman wearing sunglasses indoors on an outfit and a photo that I really, really enjoy. Although the part I felt was funny when she's showcasing this photo is that there is literally a photo of books in a shelf that is printed out in black and white that he has put inside of a bookshelf. I thought that was kind of funny in a visual pun kind of way. You have, instead of books in a bookshelf, you have a photo of books in a bookshelf. And I looked at that outfit and I was like, yo, that's a nice outfit. That's a nice chair. That's a whole very aesthetically pleasing photo. That's an amazing photo shoot. Really cool. Her comment on the outfit was also complimentary to the outfit, but her comment about the sunglasses was, I wouldn't wear sunglasses indoors because it makes you look like a jerk. But not like a jerk, she used a different word. But she did comment on the fact that the sunglasses were framed correctly. And I'm sure she's making a joke. I'm sure it is not lost on her that the guy is obviously taking a photo in a photo shoot setting. It looked like it was almost like a backdrop. And it looked like a photo studio photo, honestly. It was very well staged, very well framed. But her hot take, it's just annoying after, she's expressed that terrible take on someone's age. And I'm not going to just keep driving that point home. I'm going to go back and just say that the point of my channel, what I hope to do, is to have fun, but to also encourage people to try out different looks, to be aware of different things like fabrics, like garments and stuff like that. She points out in the beginning, I think with Costa's look, that he's wearing a bomber jacket. Her comment was that the fur collar made him look cheap. When you're dealing with a brand that is trying to create a garment at a certain price point, they're going to cut corners, and those corners are going to lead to a cheaper looking product. And so I would I would give her a pass on that one, saying that like, okay, yeah, maybe the fur trim doesn't look as good, or maybe there's different aesthetics you could have done with that fur trim. Maybe it doesn't go with the outfit, or you would have stylized it differently. However, it feels like all of your critiques are degrading in a way that is going a step beyond satire. And I think I'm just feeling some kind of way because I probably would have given you a major pass if you hadn't brought up the age as a justification for saying someone looks bad. And I'm obviously feeling some kind of way about this because I've been sitting forward the entire time, haven't sat back to relax. So I don't know if I'm in proper framing as far as the distance goes, but I'm just going to say this, that you should never use that kind of justification for an outfit of criticism. It just doesn't validate what you're saying. Like, I no longer invested in hearing the valuable information you have to offer of your 10 plus years of stylizing, of being a stylist for celebrities. I'm now focused more on, okay, if that's your immediate go-to thought on a man wearing a leather jacket or a man wearing faded jeans, that they're too old to wear something, or because they're young they can participate in fashion, or at least in these certain types of looks, I'm now questioning, like, well, what other kind of weird takes do you have? And do I really want to sit down and listen to someone who's having these kind of opinions? All that being said, that's really all I want to share on this video. If you agree with me that someone's age shouldn't determine whether or not they can enjoy or participate in fashion or certain trends, let me know down in the comment section below. Or if you disagree and you think that certain looks are not appropriate for older ages, then let me know your justifications for that. Like, why do you think that? And then my next question would probably have to be like, why do you like fashion? Like, what is fashion to you? Is it an art form in which you wear to express yourself? Or is it a tool you use to help further either your career or your influence into individuals' lives that are around you? I don't know if there's a wrong or right answer, but I would just like to know your opinion. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a like down below. It helps boost this video and helps push me up in the algorithm. Also, if you want to learn more and get more from my point of view when it comes to terms of fashion and hear my reactions as well as keep up to date with things happening within fashion news, then go ahead and hit subscribe and keep it locked in here. And most importantly, remember to always keep it creative. I'll see you on the next one. Kaboom. I don't know if I like that catch. Kazang. Why does it look like a really nervous individual trying to throw a Pokemon ball? Oh, man. In 3. We're already off to a good start. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.